The base cafeteria was silent except for the hum of fluorescent lights and the rhythmic sound of a mop gliding across the floor. The man pushing it, tall, quiet, and unassuming, looked like someone who had long learned to blend into the background. His name was Daniel Hayes, a single father who worked the night shift as a janitor at Fort Bridge Military Base. Most soldiers didn't even know his name. To them, he was just the janitor. But that night, everything was about to change. It started with a commotion near the front desk. A new team of international officers had arrived for a classified joint exercise. Documents were missing, translators delayed, and confusion spread fast. The officers spoke rapid-fire French, Russian, and Arabic, their voices overlapping in frustration. The base staff panicked, until Daniel, still holding his mop, quietly stepped forward. "Excuse me," he said softly, in perfect French. Heads turned. He switched to Russian, then Arabic, each word fluid, each accent flawless. Within minutes, he had calmed the officers, clarified the issue, and resolved the mix-up. When he was done, he just nodded, picked up his mop, and went back to cleaning as if nothing happened. From the corner of the room, a woman in a crisp uniform watched everything with sharp eyes. General Amelia Ross, one of the most respected commanders in the entire U.S. military. She had seen soldiers handle chaos, but never like this. When Daniel left, she turned to her aide. "Find out who that man is." The next morning, Daniel was summoned to her office. He came in wearing his faded uniform shirt, holding his cap nervously. "Ma'am, if this is about last night, I didn't mean to overstep." "Overstep?" General Ross interrupted, folding her arms. "You diffused a diplomatic incident before it even started. My translators couldn't do what you did. You speak 9 languages." Daniel hesitated. 9 fluently, a few others, conversational. "Why are you a janitor here?" she asked. He looked down. "Because someone has to clean up after the real heroes, ma'am." There was silence. Something about his humility struck her deeply. "You served, didn't you?" He nodded. "Army Intelligence. Linguistics Division. I left after my wife passed. My son was 3. I couldn't deploy anymore." General Ross leaned back, realizing she was looking at a man who had given everything, his service, his pride, his career, for family. "Mr. Hayes, how old is your son now?" 10, ma'am. He's why I'm here. The night shifts let me be home during the day for him. He thinks I work at a library." That confession broke something inside her. She had spent decades in uniform, rising through ranks, but she couldn't remember the last time she'd sacrificed something that personal. 2 days later, Daniel came to work and found the base buzzing. Posters were being hung. The general was holding an open strategy session with visiting officers, and to everyone's shock, the janitor was seated at the conference table beside her. Cameras flashed, officers whispered. General Ross began, "Before we start, I'd like to introduce someone you may not know. This is Daniel Hayes, veteran, father, and our new cultural intelligence advisor." The room went silent. Daniel blinked, stunned. "Ma'am, I'm not qualified." She smiled. "You're more qualified than most of us combined. You understand language, people, and humility. That's what leadership is." Over the next few months, Daniel's life transformed. He trained young recruits in cultural awareness and field communication, helped diffuse tense cross-unit misunderstandings, and even advised special operations teams on language missions. But he never changed. He still walked the base with the same mop during his breaks, greeting everyone with quiet respect. One evening, General Ross found him outside the barracks, sitting on a bench with his son, showing him constellations in 3 different languages. She stood back, smiling. When she approached, his son saluted awkwardly, and she laughed. "Your dad's a remarkable man," she told the boy. "I know," the child said proudly. "He teaches me new words every night. He says if you learn people's language, you learn their hearts." The general's eyes softened. He's right. Later that night, she stood before the entire base at a ceremony and said, "Some heroes wear medals. Some carry mops. What defines a soldier is not their rank, but their heart." She turned to Daniel, who stood humbled, holding his son's hand. "And this man reminds us all that greatness can whisper and still shake the world." The crowd erupted in applause. For the first time in years, Daniel lifted his chin high, not for recognition, but because his son was clapping the loudest. And when the video of that moment went viral, Millions watched a quiet single dad janitor remind the world that true strength isn't about uniform or title, it's about love, humility, and courage that never seeks the spotlight.